The most dangerous career limits never look dangerous at first. They feel normal. Your career still functions, your income still grows, your responsibilities still exist, which means nothing triggers alarm. But underneath, the trajectory quietly stops expanding. And most professionals don't recognize that shift until years later. That's what makes structural stagnation so difficult to detect. People expect career decline to feel dramatic. They expect failure to look unstable. But many careers become limited precisely because they remain functional. Projects continue, meetings continue, deadlines continue, the income still grows, which means activity still exists. But expansion quietly disappears underneath. And over time, many professionals slowly adapt to narrowing trajectories without recognizing the change. Because structural limits rarely appear all at once. They accumulate gradually. Safer decisions, safer positioning, safer organizational paths, which feels rational short-term. But long-term, that pattern slowly reduces optionality. And once optionality narrows enough, future expansion becomes increasingly difficult to recover. That adaptation happens slowly. At first, people optimize for acceleration. Later, many optimize for preservation instead. Not because they became less ambitious, because continuity starts feeling safer than instability. And over time, that psychological adaptation becomes structural. Because organizations reward continuity aggressively. Reliable professionals become trusted. Trusted professionals become embedded. Embedded professionals become harder to move. And eventually, many careers develop structural gravity. The system starts protecting continuity, not expansion. That difference reshapes careers slowly. Because once someone becomes deeply integrated into preservation systems, trajectory flexibility starts narrowing underneath. The role still looks successful externally, but future expansion continues shrinking underneath. Switching becomes harder. Experimentation feels riskier. Risk starts feeling emotionally expensive. And eventually, many professionals stop evaluating expansion capacity. They start evaluating stability preservation instead. That shift is subtle, but structurally, it changes everything. Because careers optimized for preservation often continue appearing successful externally for years. The salary rises, the status improves, the predictability increases. But long-term expansion continues narrowing underneath. That contradiction becomes psychologically dangerous. Because external success continues reinforcing the belief that the trajectory is still improving. The career still works, but directional mobility stops feeling alive. And eventually, many professionals begin adapting to stagnation itself. Reduced movement starts feeling normal. Lower volatility starts feeling responsible. Preservation starts feeling mature. And over time, people stop noticing how much future expansion disappeared. Because normalization is one of the strongest forces inside professional systems. Careers rarely become restrictive overnight. They slowly condition behavior. They slowly reshape expectations. They slowly redefine what feels acceptable. And eventually, many professionals stop asking, "Is this trajectory still expanding?" They start asking, "How do I preserve what already works?" That adaptation happens slowly, but psychologically, it changes identity itself. Because preservation systems reward continuity emotionally. They reduce uncertainty, reduce instability, reduce volatility, which makes narrowing careers feel safer over time, even while expansion quietly disappears underneath. That's why the most dangerous career limits rarely feel restrictive at first. They feel normal, comfortable, sustainable. And that's exactly why they become so difficult to escape. Not financially, structurally. Because preservation systems slowly reshape incentives, then positioning, then risk tolerance. Eventually, they reshape identity itself, until continuity itself becomes the priority. Nothing visibly collapses. The career stays functional. The trajectory quietly narrows. Now, final verdict. The most dangerous career limits are not the ones that immediately look destructive. They are the ones that slowly normalize stagnation while preserving external success. And once a career becomes optimized for continuity instead of expansion, most professionals don't recognize the trade until years of future expansion are already gone. If you want the full system behind this, it's in the description.